Welcome to the True Elegance Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bumia Kikube, also known as Dr. B. Through solo episodes and guest sessions, we delve into the timeless qualities of style, grace, and sophistication and uncover what makes you truly elegant. So, sit back, relax, and let's get started on this empowering journey of becoming truly elegant. Hello, Elegant Tribe, and welcome to another episode of the True Elegance Podcast, where we have authentic conversations, not just about what makes you beautiful or elegant, but also about the true character on the inside that transcends natural beauty. Today, I have with me Dr. Denise Moore Revel, who is a CEO, founder, and award-nominated best-selling author, speaker, and personal development coach. For over 25 years, she has literally helped people find their voices. As a speech language pathologist therapist, her job has been helping her clients discover their voice. Dr. Denise founded the Own Your Amazing movement, which is an extension of the message of finding your own voice and living your worth out loud. Through coaching, mentoring, and workshops, she empowers women to find their unique voice, live their worth out loud, and create amazing lives that they love. Welcome, Dr. Denise, to today's episode.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. I'm excited to have you as well. And so I know I read your bio and it's amazing. 25 years of doing this is definitely amazing. Just want to find out from you, how has the journey been? How did you come into this experience of doing this amazing work?
It has truly been a journey. It has truly been a journey. But I would say I wouldn't take nothing for my journey, a lot of highs, a lot of lows, and a lot of in-betweens. But, I definitely think every experience has helped me to be who I am today. So like my bio said, I am a speech language pathologist. I've been doing it now for 28 years. I can't believe that.
Wow.
So I have literally helped people to find their voices. I help them with communication skills, but have had a lot of success in life, great job, great career. But along the journey, I felt like something was missing. And so I went on a personal journey to find out, what was going on with me. And so again, had the education, had the job, had everything everyone told me that would make me happy, but I wasn't.
Wow.
And so again, I embarked on this journey of self-discovery, trying to figure out like what is going on with me. So about 7 years ago, I went to a weekend retreat. And so I arrived that Friday down in Dallas, Texas, and went out to dinner with one of the attendees. We got to know one another over conversation, just had a great time. So the next day, that Saturday, we all came together with the coach. And so during the process of the coaching session or the session, the coach invited everyone to come to the front of the room to share their story, to get coached, or she called it to get in the love seat, right? And so as I'm waiting for my turn, I noticed that a lot of the women are very emotional. They're crying and, pouring out their hearts. But I'm just sitting in the audience thinking like, okay, all right, I really get it, but okay, whatever. So finally it's my turn. And so I go to the front of the room, and as soon as I sit down in the chair, I start crying.
Wow.
It was an ugly cry. I was boo-hooing like, oh my God. And so the coach like, what is going on with you? And I'm like, I don't know.
Wow.
I should be happy. I should feel fulfilled. I have a great career. I have a great family. I'm educated. I'm all these things, right? And so the young lady who went out to dinner with the night before, she raised her hand and she said, I know what's going on with you.
Wow.
And I'm thinking like, no, you don't. We just met. You don't really know me. And so I was like, so I'm thinking all of these things, but of course I didn't say it. I just said, oh, okay, what's going on with me? And she said, I've just met you. She said, you're smart, you're brilliant, you're talented. She said, you have all these amazing things going on for you. She said, but you don't own it.
Wow.
She said, you need to own your amazing
Oh my
and stop
goodness.
playing small. That was it. Everybody in the room was like, oh my God. People like, I got chills. I started crying. I was like, that's it. She helped me to language,
Wow.
but I knew for sure. I knew I was playing small. I knew I was allowing fear to stop me. I knew there was so much more for me to do, but I was too afraid to do it. But since that day,
Wow.
I have been on a mission to encourage other women to own your amazing, to stop playing small, to show up in a more powerful way, to share who you are with the world. And the thing about own your amazing is that we have to embrace, we have to know that we are amazing. No mistakes, none of our shortcomings, none of the things we think are flaws or imperfections make us unworthy to call ourselves amazing. We are divine created beings. And as soon as we embrace that, the better our lives are for it. So that is my journey. That is my mission. I am encouraging other women to come along with me on this journey because I'm still on the journey of discovering myself, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so, and I say, I can't own it for you, and you can't own it for me. You have to own your amazing, and I have to own my amazing.
Wow.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. Wow, it's like we captured the whole essence of this podcast in just the first few minutes. That is so powerful. And I
Yeah.
celebrate that journey of discovery that came about at that time and that you're still on and improving and embracing every step of the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we all need that, and
Hmm.
I'm thankful that uh, she spoke those words to me that day,
Wow.
and so now I'm trying to speak it to other
To
women, like,
other
oh, you're
people.
amazing.
Yeah.
Show up more powerfully. Be your
Wow.
authentic self. That's what the world needs. We need for you to show up in a more powerful way. And
Hmm.
so I wrote a book a few years ago,
Okay.
and the story behind the book is that I never thought I would be an author. There was nothing I aspired to do, right?
Mm.
Because the story goes that I've done well in school, but writing had always been a challenge for me.
Okay.
Again, we can be brilliant in so many areas, but we all have things that come up, can be a little challenging. And
Right.
so writing was that for me. So I was in high school, my senior year in high school. My English teacher told me I was one of the worst writers he had ever had. Yeah, and he had been teaching a
Wow.
long time.
Wow.
Like, oh my goodness. So the little confidence that I had in my writing went right out the window.
Mm.
And so I went to college and did all that great stuff, but I still struggled with the writing piece. So now fast forward, I started On You Amazing, and I have a business coach, and she said, "Oh, I think you should write a book." And I said, "No way." I said, "I'm a terrible writer." Because I was remembering what my English teacher had told me.
Right. Right.
I was a terrible writer. I can't
Wow.
be an author. That's not me. That's for someone else. How many times have we done that?
Hmm.
Right? And
So many
so
times.
many times. And so my coach said to me, she knew how to get me, right? She said, but what if you can write a book and it could help at least one person to make a difference in their lives? What
Wow.
if you can reach someone with your story?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, you got me.
Wow. Wow.
I'll do it. And so I ended up hiring a book coach to help me through the process because I didn't know how it was going to go.
Okay.
And I remember I had the book, it was time to launch it, and this big fear came over me.
Wow.
It came flooding back. You're a terrible writer.
Hmm.
Nobody wants to hear your story. You can't do that. You're not an author. Who are you to say that you can do that, right?
Wow.
And so, but
Wow.
then I remembered what my coach said. She said, what if you can help one person with your
Just one
story?
person. Yeah.
It's one person. So that was the objective for the book was help one person, right? And so I launched it and all that great stuff. And so a few months later, my book got nominated for an award.
Wow.
And I was one of the finalists for the book award in terms of for personal health and personal development, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so unfortunately I didn't win, but
Mm.
what they were looking for, they weren't looking for the number of books you sold. They
Okay.
were looking for the book that's trying to make the biggest impact.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I
That
was a
is
finalist.
awesome. That is awesome.
So that is the book story that a lot of times we are still holding on to those negative thoughts and beliefs and those things people have said to us that
Hmm.
stops us from showing up in a more powerful way. So I
Wow.
encourage people to really think about what you're listening to and who you're listening to and
Mm-hmm.
what's stopping you from really truly owning your amazing.
Wow. Awesome, awesome. And we're still going to talk about the book,
Okay,
where listeners can find it and buy it and,
awesome.
leave an
Yeah,
amazing review. But yeah, this is just amazing. It's like I should just sit down here and keep soaking it all in. But I'm going to bring up some highlights of what you've talked about. And,
sure.
many times when some people hear, oh, you're amazing, they're like, well, I don't know if there's anything amazing about me and all that, but like you said, we just need to stop playing small and understand that amazing doesn't necessarily mean award winning or you're at the Grammys every weekend
Right.
or something,
Yeah,
Amazing means there's something unique and special about you that God
absolutely.
put on the inside of you. And it can be a blessing, like you said, to just, even if it's just one person, that
Exactly.
is amazing. So
Yes.
can you define maybe in some terms or give some examples about what amazing means, breaking it down?
Absolutely. Um, One of the favorite chapters in my book, which is the first chapter, is called Divine Design.
Wow.
I believe in a creator. I believe we were created by an intelligent divine being. And I believe that we are here on purpose and for a purpose. It's no mistake
Yes.
that we are exactly who we are.
Mm-hmm.
But we hear these messages, oh, you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, you're not this, you're not that. But I believe an intelligent, creative being created us each exactly the way we're supposed to be.
Right.
And I always say, think about it, there are over 8 billion people on the planet, and there's no one like you.
Yeah.
There's no one like me.
Amazing. Mm-hmm.
That is amazing to me. That is truly amazing. And so when I do my workshops, I do this activity called the Hope Diamond. So a lot of people know about the Hope Diamond, this rare, exquisite diamond, right? So I live right outside of Washington, D.C., where we have all the museums. And many years ago, the Hope Diamond came to Washington, D.C., to the Smithsonian.
Right.
And I was like, I
Right.
have to go see it. This rare, beautiful thing, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I shared a story, but it's rare. And people just walk by it was like, ooh, making a big deal because this thing is so rare
Right.
and special and amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when we think about again, we are that hope diamond.
Wow.
We are so exquisite, we're beautiful, we're multidimensional, multifaceted, right? Because there's no one on the planet like us. There's no one before us, no one currently, and
Mm-hmm.
no one after us. We're it. So
Wow.
if you don't show up in your brilliance, the
Yes.
world is going to miss out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because once
Mm-hmm.
you're gone, you're gone. There's no one exactly like you. And
Yes.
that's what I start with. And so during my workshop, I have everybody to say, what do you like about yourself? And they say, oh, I like my smile. You have to show me your
Oh.
smile. No one has a smile like you. And we like, ooh, ah, because we don't embrace, we haven't been taught that we truly are these truly amazing beings.
Yes.
We have been
Yes.
taught to discount ourselves, undervalue ourselves, not appreciate the beautiful divine beings that we are. So I'll start with that. It's like I
Mm-hmm.
help to lay the foundation that if you understand who you truly are, not according to your mistakes and all these things that we are told, even in the midst of that,
Mm-hmm.
we still are valuable. I also use the demonstration of you take a $5 bill, a $10, let's say $100 bill. That's a lot of money. Let's take a $100
I
bill,
know.
right? And you crumble it up and you rip it apart. Has it lost its value?
Nope.
No, because people would take that $100 bill back together
Uh-huh.
because it has remained, it still has its value. You can crumble it, it can get dirty, you can find it in the
Mm.
dirt, people would rinse it off because it has not lost its value.
Right.
And neither have we. We
Hmm.
think our mistakes, we think whatever we know, we look at, we think that that has devalued us, right? So I tell people, yes, I have a PhD, but am I any more valuable that I have a PhD than I was without the PhD? No, I'm not.
You've
And
just
so we have to
refined and
understand,
developed yourself.
right? But
Yes.
we attributed certain things, how much money you have, or how much, how do you, all these external things, right?
Hmm.
And we think that those things affect our value and our worth, but
Hmm.
they don't. We showed up to the planet already valuable, already amazing. And it's nothing we can do. It's not an amount of money we can earn. No, no, get 100 million degrees. That's not going to change my worth and my value. And
Right.
once we get people to understand that simple truth, that foundation, it
Mm-hmm.
changes the world.
Yes. Yes.
It really
Beautiful.
does. It
Beautiful.
really does. I've
And
seen it
and
for me, and I've seen it so for so many other people.
yes, yes, that's so true. Because sometimes you discover that we chase some things, maybe like you said, the degrees. So you get your master's, your doctorate, your third doctorate, and then you're still back to, you know what? I'm still missing something. So, we have
Right.
to understand that those things are not what define us, they
No.
add to our value, they could add to our impact, but our
Yeah.
core self is still valuable and it's needed in whatever
Yes.
phase or stage we get to. And I love what you
Yep.
said about, that question about what do you like about yourself? I believe that's
Yes.
one question we all need to sit down with ourselves from time to time and just figure out, what do I like about myself? And, the more you embrace that and discover that, like you said, is it your smile? Is it the way um, you support other people? Is it
Yeah.
your love for kids, for animals, for advocating for those who don't have a voice? Things like that are the
Exactly.
things that live forever and goes beyond just the now and the degrees and everything. So I believe that's a great question to sit with ourselves, and also maybe discovering the things we don't like so that we
Yeah.
can work on them to either
Yeah.
get rid of them or improve on them from time to time. Yeah.
That's wonderful. I remember real quickly when doing one of my workshops, and I had the participants to hold up a mirror and to look at
Mm.
themselves. And
Wow.
then they had to share what did they like about their face, just one thing, you know? And there was a young lady who I had invited some women from a battered women's shelter to be my
Mm.
special guest
Wow.
at my workshop. And one of the young ladies came. And so during the exercise, she just started really, got very emotional. And she was like, I don't like anything about my face. And we were like, I was like, I pressed, I said, you have to find something.
Mm.
I need for you to see your own beauty. But she had been so battered and
Mm-hmm.
broken
Mm-hmm.
that it was just hard for her to do that. And so it just made me again realize how important this work is,
Mm-hmm.
that we continue to pour into each other to let us know, that we are beautiful, we are worthy, regardless of what has happened in the past.
Right.
That hasn't diminished that. So even those small things like looking at ourselves, not
Mm-hmm.
criticizing ourselves, but seeing our own beauty, it's really what's going to make the difference in our lives. Truly, it is.
Yes,
Yes,
yes. Wow,
yes.
beautiful.
Mhm.
And it comes back, to the analogy you had about the Hope Diamond.
Yeah,
Sometimes, not sometimes, but many times, or always, diamonds, gold, and all that, they go through the
yeah.
fire.
They go through
That's
the
what
fire.
refines them from that raw metal jewel to the
Yeah,
beautiful thing that we then see, that we adopt to earrings, rings, put in
yeah,
the museum and everything. So it just reminds us that sometimes in life we might go through rough patches.
yeah,
Um, but it doesn't mean that's the end of our lives, of our value, of who we are. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It can make us stronger.
Mhm.
Other thing I share with people is like, share your story.
Yeah.
Someone needs to hear you. Someone
Mhm.
needs to hear what you're going through, your perspective, and things like that. Um, it's important that we um, understand the power of our voice. I was just on a summit this past week on for sorry, Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And
Okay.
so I spoke about the power of the voice to domestic violence survivors.
Mm,
And again,
mhm.
reminding them the power of your voice because so many of them have been silenced. A lot
Right.
of people have been silenced through abuse.
Mm,
But I was there to remind them you have power in your voice and
wow.
that someone needs you to show up and speak up.
Mhm.
Someone needs to hear your story because you could be the very difference in someone's life.
Right.
And we have to value who we are, know our voices are unique and special and that they matter. And that it's just time for us to show up for people, to show up for ourselves more
Yes.
powerfully, to
Yes.
understand that our story, our lives can make a difference. We are that missing piece for so many
Mhm.
people. You will resonate with people who may not resonate with me. I might resonate with people who may not resonate with the next person.
Right.
So if we're playing small, like the woman had told me that day, you're playing small. You're not speaking out. You're not sharing who you are. people need for us to show up because we can be that very thing that they need.
Right. Beautiful, beautiful. And I want to pick up on the voice part of it, you know. Sometimes, yeah, the voice could be maybe the speaking voice. It could
Yeah.
also be the values voice. It could be the experience voice. And this is just coming to me. I didn't even think about it before. But when we say people should discover the power of their voice or own their voice, can you speak a little bit more to that?
Absolutely. Being a speech language pathologist, one of my jobs is to hear voices.
Hmm.
The voices. I have to live in the voices, right? And so one of the things I share all the time is that we have a voice. You have a voice. You have this platform. You have a physical voice. You have this platform.
Right.
You're using your voice to empower women.
Yes.
That's amazing to me, you know? And so you have something of value. You have a tool, something that can be used to create amazing worlds for everyone, right? And then
Yes.
not only do you have a voice, you have a unique voice. Like I said, your lived experiences, but also physically, your voice is your voice.
Right.
No one else has your voice. I've been listening to voices for 28 years and I have yet to
Wow.
hear the same voice. Just as unique as your fingerprints, so is your voice. And I was on a podcast interview earlier this week and I was sharing this exact point. And I said, you can be identified, you could be arrested because if
Mm.
somebody recognizes your voice, right, in
Right.
a crime.
Wow.
And the host shared with me years ago, he was part of a robbery. Someone came to a restaurant to rob the store, the restaurant he worked at. He said they had on a mask,
Hmm.
but he could just see their eyes. But the person said, I only have one more bullet. Don't make me use it.
Wow.
So later on, they found the suspect and they put him in a lineup with four other men. And they had a mask on and they told everyone to say what the person said. The guy said as soon as he heard him, he said, that's him.
Hmm.
That's who robbed the store.
Wow.
Because your voice is just that unique and
Right.
special, right?
Right.
So,
Wow.
just like your physical voice, again, your lived voice, your lived experiences, your perspective, your idea, that's your voice. How you
Mm-hmm.
show up in the world is your
Mm-hmm.
your self-expression. But how are we showing up? A lot of times our voices are quiet. We're not showing up. We're playing small, right? And
Hmm.
so then your voice matters. You have to know that it matters. That again, you are that missing piece for so many people.
Yes.
But if we're not showing up, if we're not, speaking up, there are a lot of people not being served. Your gifts are not for you, they're for me. My gifts aren't for me, they're for other people.
Yeah.
So we're not giving them, we're not showing up, we're not living out loud. There are people who are missing out on the very things we have been gifted to give them.
Right. Right. Wow. Beautiful. So in your journey so far and with experiences you've seen with other women, what are the challenges or roadblocks that we struggle with when it comes to finding our voice or being amazing selves?
Wow. I was as you're asking me that, a couple of things that came to mind, but I'll just talk about two things. I think as women, we hear so many missed messages about who we are, who we're supposed to be, how
Mm.
we're supposed to show up, that we don't really know who we are.
Wow.
And so when I start with the women who coach with me, the first question that I ask them is, who are you
Mm.
for you? Who are you for you?
Yes.
How do you define you? Not what everyone else is telling you, but how do you define you? Who are you? And for a lot of women, that's a hard question to answer
Mm-hmm.
because, again, we get so many messages about who we're supposed to be
Wow.
that we don't really listen to our own voice, our own hearts that are telling us, this is what I want. This is what's
Mm.
going to fill me up. This is what's going to make me happy. One of my earlier clients, she worked as an attorney at a prominent law firm in Washington, D.C., but she didn't want to be an attorney anymore. It was great, but she's like, this isn't it for me.
Mm.
She was too afraid to speak up and speak her truth
Wow.
because everyone has said, this is who you are. You are this attorney. You are
Right.
this person. And she was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was like, okay, let's figure out how can you do it differently. And I say it all the time, it takes courage to be who you are
Right.
because there are going to be people who say, well, no, you're supposed to be this, you're supposed to be that. And you be like, no, that's not who I am. That's not what's going to make me happy. And
Mm.
be willing to shift. I'm going through a shift right now. I've been shifting for the last couple of years. Yes, I'm a speech language pathologist, but I'm looking to retire from this in the next couple of years
Hmm.
because I want to do this work of speaking and coaching full time. But that's a shift for me, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And so we get these careers and this becomes our identity. But it's like, what this is not filling me up anymore. I want to do something different. It takes courage to do that. So again, to answer the question, I think one of the challenges for women is that we don't really know who we are. We are living up to other people's expectations and criteria of who we are. But once we discover for ourselves who we are, I think it makes a world of a difference. And the second point I want to make is personal care, self-care.
Yes.
I think a lot of times we just aren't taking care of ourselves. We take care of everyone else,
Mm-hmm.
but ourselves as women, we're natural nurturers.
Right.
Yeah. But how often do we nurture ourselves? How
Mm.
often do we put ourselves, on top of our priority list? We have the husband and the kids and the work and the church and the this and the that, and we never get to ourselves. And so many women are burned out, they're frustrated, they're resentful, they're unhappy because they have not taken the time to fill up their own cups first. So I have gotten better with it over the years for myself, and I'm striving to do even better for that, but self-care is a major thing that I think a lot of times women we neglect. We think it's selfish to take care of ourselves,
No,
but it's not
no.
selfish. It's an act of self-love, to be honest,
Yes.
for ourselves and for those around us. Real quick, had a really good friend of mine come to a workshop, and I always talk about self-care and ask women, said, what are you going to do in terms of your self-care? And
Okay.
at the time, her kids were a lot younger. And
Mm-hmm.
she was like, I just want to check into the hotel, have a good night's sleep, order room service, just be by myself. And I was like, do it, do it, do it, do it.
Yeah, just do it.
And she was like, I don't know. I need to go talk to my husband. I was like,
Oh.
okay. I said, but I'm going to hold you to it. You need
Uh-huh.
to do that, right? So she's a really good friend of mine. Her husband is as well. So the husband called me later on that day, and he was like, did you tell my wife to go check herself into a hotel for the night? And I'm like, yeah. He said, thank you.
Oh,
He
wow.
said, thank you. He said,
Wow.
I have been telling her, he said, I've been telling her that she needed to take some time for herself. He said, thank you. He
Wow.
said, I am going to make the reservation for her
Oh my goodness.
because this is what he knew. He knew that when she came back, she was going to be a better wife,
Exactly.
a better mother, and a better person.
Yes.
And so we laughed. Since this was years ago, she kept that going for years. Even, it's probably like once a quarter, she would go check herself in a hotel, spend the night, have her,
Yes.
and she said, I came back refreshed and
Mm-hmm.
renewed
Mm-hmm.
and, better to pour into those and serve those that I wanted to serve. And so
Yes.
I think just knowing who we are for ourselves and self-care is the two biggest things that I always try to make sure I talk to women about.
Right, right. Wow,
Mhm.
those are beautiful. I love them. And to imagine, like the case of your friend, in her mind, she was probably thinking maybe the husband or the family or friends or significant other will think she's being selfish, but they were actually waiting for her to take that step to put herself
Yes.
first and take care of herself.
Because
Yes.
a lot of times, because again, we're showing up not our best selves, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And our family and friends know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
know that. They know we're a
yeah.
little grumpy. Know we're a little short with them, And it's like, Mommy, do you need a timeout? Like, yeah, go take a time out.
Yes,
And
yes.
so we need to really embrace taking our time out so that we can be better because we have a
Hmm.
heart to serve.
Yes.
But we have to make sure we are serving from our fullness and not
Oh,
our emptiness.
right,
Yeah.
right. Awesome. So I know you've talked about it throughout the conversation, but I want you to speak a little bit more about the Own Your Amazing movement.
Yeah, and so the movement again is about helping women to show up for themselves. It's
Okay.
about truly embracing themselves, standing in their personal power, saying, what they really think and feel about themselves, but mainly just creating an amazing life. There is a quote that says, a lot of people live a life of quiet desperation.
Wow.
A lot of people are struggling with their lives
Hmm.
because they don't understand that they have the power to create an amazing life. We hold the power, we hold the keys, not other people, but we hold it for ourselves. But a
Yeah.
lot of times we don't know that. We haven't been taught that. And so we look outside of ourselves for validation, confirmation,
Mm.
for being filled up. But I'm inviting women to say, no, let me fill myself up. Let me discover who I am. And another thing I always say, the most important relationship you're going to ever have is the one you have with yourself,
With yourself. Yeah.
not other people. But how much time do we spend with ourselves? Talking to ourselves, right? Thinking about what we really want. But we spend so much time on external things that we wonder why we're not happy and fulfilled and having these amazing lives, things that light up. Are you doing what you're passionate about? And so On Your Amazing, again, is about helping you discover what it is that you really want for your life and go
Hmm.
for that.
Beautiful. And
Yeah.
there's the book.
And there's the book. So in the book, I talk about these points about divine design. I talk about um, confirming your own brilliance. A lot of times we look for external affirmations for people to pat us on the back. No, pat yourself on the back.
Yes.
Give yourself some kudos. Tell yourself you did a good job. We would talk better to other people than we talk to ourselves.
Wow.
We can be some of the most critical people to ourselves.
That's true.
Why not be your biggest cheerleader? Why not say, you know what? You did that. you
Yes.
know, you
Yes.
you did a good job today. So I talk about confirming yourself, right?
Okay.
Because everyone else can say you're brilliant. Like the young lady told, oh, yes, Ma, she said, but you don't own it. Like
Wow.
I did not see that for myself. Other people can see it, but we don't see it for ourselves. And when we don't see it for ourselves, that's what stops us.
Right.
That's what stops us from moving forward. It's not anyone else. It's us. It's me.
It's us.
you know?
Wow. Wow.
And so that we have to get out of our own way
Mm-hmm.
and give ourselves the things that we need. It's important who you surround yourself with. 'Cause I talk about that in the book.
Yes.
Who are you surrounding yourself with? Are you with people who celebrate you or just tolerate you?
Hmm.
I am happy to say my intimate tribe of people they celebrate me. They think I'm
Awesome.
amazing. I think they're amazing. We encourage each other, like to go
Yes.
for it. You can do
Yes.
it. You got it. Because we need that. We need that encouragement sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
right? But who are you
Mm-hmm.
surrounding yourself with? And then the last part of the book, it talks about you are a niche.
Hmm.
Again, you have been divinely created to serve certain people. I know I am not for everyone. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I get that. I'm okay with that. But I am for someone.
Right.
We're not for everyone, but we are for someone. And our job is to figure out who are we here to serve and
Yes.
to go and do that.
Wow.
Go and do that. So that is what the book is about. You can get it on Amazon, but also on my website, and I'll share that in a minute. But you can get your own copy. If you order from me, I'll autograph it. I put a special note in it and I'll send it off to you.
I love it. I love it. Thanks for all the inspiration you've shared with
Yeah,
us on today's show. It's been
love it.
amazing, and I'm sure it will be on repeat play for many of us on this platform. So, before we wrap it up today, can you share with us where our audience can find you beyond today's episode?
Absolutely. On my website is ownyouramazingnnow.com. Again, own your amazing now. Don't wait.
Don't
Do
wait,
it
right?
now. Don't wait now. Ownitnow.com. And so this excerpt from the book, and again, you can order that for me as well. But just also about what's going on in the community, upcoming events that I'm having. Right now, I'm promoting my next wellness retreat for 2024.
Okay.
Information about that. Um, Also, you can find me on Facebook at Dr. Denise on You're Amazing. I am up there every Thursday at 8 a.m. and I do a thing
Mm,
called Think About It Thursday. And I'm just up
okay.
there for a few minutes and I give you something to think about. Because one of the things I know for sure, we don't take time to be reflective. We
Hmm.
don't take time to really think about what we're thinking about.
Yeah.
So I invite you to join me every Thursday on Facebook Live for
Okay.
Think About It Thursday. Again, I give you something to kind of think about and like how can you incorporate that into your life to make it better. So Facebook, I'm on Instagram, all those good things. But yeah, just join me, be a part of the movement, be a part of the conversation we're having. I'm just thankful for this opportunity just to again to share my message. So thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dennis. It's been amazing. And we'll be sure to put all that information in the show notes. Thank you for reminding us that we are amazing and then we can discover our power to live an amazing life that we really do love. And I love the inspiration behind you right there, not quitting your daydream
Yeah,
and imagining, because we all need to do that. So
absolutely.
thank you so much for being on the show today, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Be sure to subscribe so you'll be the first to be notified of every new episode. Leave a review and share this podcast with that elegant lady in your life. This is a space where we can come together to empower and inspire each other and live feeling elevated and enlightened. See you in the next episode.